everyone, it's Jan from Jan Plans Things, and today I've got a unboxing of my Hobonichi order, my first Hobonichi order. I have a second one coming with the Search and Collect cover, but this is my main order with the two ones that I really wanted, as well as the journal that I'm thinking of using next year. So Hobonichi, I think every year they open their store on the 1st of September, and this year was no different, except they had, like last year, they'd split up the pre-orders so you could order different covers on each day. And I think this year they had a bit of a typhoon, so things were a bit slower than usual, but I'm going to be honest with you, I know there were a lot of complaints online about how slow they were shipping, but I didn't really notice. I'm the type of person to panic on the order day and then forget about it until it comes. So I was pleasantly surprised when this came the other day. So I'm just gonna... Okay, this year my box is green and I have a whole, oh well, that's okay. I keep these at work sometimes, which upsets my boss because he thinks they're filled with Hokkaido cheese tarts. But this year at least the box is green, not yellow, so that might help a little bit. Let's have a look what's inside. They've always got this lovely message here. This year it says, once words were engraved on stones, once words were exchanged from mouth to mouth, I guess people could not help it because they were so precious. We all want to keep words alive. And that's from a chat. So even though there was a hole by the time we got to this part, it's all still pretty well protected. Some filler cardboard. Ooh. Okay. Let us liberate. Have a look at what I ordered. So in this this box we have the two covers this year from Mina Perhonen. There's actually one more Mina Perhonen cover which I didn't end up picking up because I kind of really love their embroidered covers instead. This one is the Path, and it's a dark green cover with embroidery of I think like flowers on the top, and then this one is the Mina Perhonen zipper cover, which I always try to save up for every year because I do love the zipper covers. And if you ordered from the Hobonichi store online, you got one of their free pens. It's red this year. Last year was like a nice white cream colour. I don't mind red, it makes it easy to find. And then also this thing, which I didn't check what this was before I opened it. Okay, we'll come back to that later. It looks cute though. What are these cute little illustrations? Okay, that's fine. And then this year I've also ordered the Hobonichi Techo Cousin, which is the A5 book. Those of you who've been following me for a while know that I do almost everything in an A5 now. In the past I used to get the A6, but I'm trying to consolidate everything into one notebook this year. And then I've also got the plain notebook as well, because I do actually love the Tomoe River paper. The Tomoe River paper is much thinner, the stuff that's in here, than say something in the Leuchtturm. Definitely like half as thick as the stuff in the Archer and Olive. But I don't always mind thicknesses of paper so much because I prefer my papers to be fountain pen friendly. Words are working right now, rather than you know, really thick. I know people who hate ghosting. This type of notebook is not for you because it goes all the way through, but I don't mind ghosting as much as long as it doesn't bleed, mainly because, you know, with ghosting I kind of feel like the notebook is well loved. So I might go through the covers first and then we'll have a look at the notebooks afterwards. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to excuse me for the crumpling plastic sounds. Now this is a beautiful dark emerald green color. It looks way darker in the pictures. This is actually a lot brighter than I thought. It looks like a mix of blue, black, and phthalo green. I'm spending too much time mixing watercolors. You can see that each of the flower stems have been embroidered on, and then there's a peachy, a lime, and a pale green stitching for most of them, and in different variations. The inside of the notebook features the same Mina Perhonen bookmarks from every year. I'm going to remove this. And you can kind of see, let's move this out of the way, you kind of see they've got the stitched leather ends. These really nice strings that I like. I'm using a Mina Perhonen one at the moment for my journals. You can see them on my Instagram at the moment. And then they've got the slots in here. This is where you can put in your notebook. You slide it through on either side. Another hold here. I kind of just like stuff my receipts in this part. And then some card holders. So in the past, I've kind of used them to just hold like cards of washi tape. But you know, you can use them for whatever you like. So this is the path cover, and I'm probably going to use this one during the towards the end of the year, perhaps, mainly because after a while my notebook gets a bit too thick, so I can't actually use this the whole I can't use the zipper the whole year because it's a bit too chunky. Okay, so now that is that one. Now, open the next cover. I am extremely biased towards zipper covers. I just love them because they kind of keep everything together, and I'm a bit of a haphazard journal. I kind of just stuff everything in and then consolidate it during the week when I can. This year's zipper cover is absolutely lovely. It feels almost like I'm very bad with fabrics. Maybe it's a linen. Probably not. Doesn't seem dense enough to be linen. Anyway, it's got these little ducks, birds, maybe they're birds, all embroidered on the front. I just love the embroidery. It kind of gives the cover a little bit of depth and dimension and life. And you know, Mina Perhonen fabrics are so expensive. It's like $35 for 10 centimeters. So, and so I'm kind of like, this is how I can afford Mina Perhonen. I save up for journal covers all year, you know, so, you know, priorities. Inside, we have tan colour this year. The bookmarks are a little bit different to the other one. They are on a straight string with, I think these are like more default Hobonichi bookmarks. They've got the little triangle and the square. I would have preferred it if it had the gorgeous ribboning from the previous cover that I showed you, but you know, that is that. Same as before, you have this side and this to slide your notebook in, so when you open your cover, your notebook opens flat. This one's a little, oh no, it's fine. Just needs a little bit of teasing and then it'll be, there we go, perfectly flat. And then at the top, big pocket to put stuff in. I used to slide my watercolor palette in there actually. Don't judge me. But you know, just slide that in there. And then obviously we've got another big pocket here, and then you can also stuff a little bit more in there besides just the cover. Something like this as well. So SD card is what I normally put here, another smaller one, and some cards as well. So that's that, and a pen loop. I never use the pen loop, mainly I think because my pens are too fat. The micron will probably fit in here, but I love using fountain pens with my Hobonichis, and yeah, that might just be a little bit too fat for that. So now, that is that cover. It's lovely, isn't it? Like last year, they've got the Mina Perhonen logo stitched onto the zipper, and that is in this little brassed gold, which is lovely. And I'm just gonna smooth. The side is also all dark as well. They're a lot brighter than I saw online, but I'm kind of really loving them in person. They're very beautiful this year. Okay, now let me show you the Hobonichi actual notebook. Let me see. Where can I open this? This is the Avec set, which is kind of like they split it in half. it's very loud. So they split the two books in half. So we've got first half of the year, January and June, second half of the year in June and July, mainly because people who use the Hobonichi love to stuff it with stickers, receipts, books, tickets, photos, washi tape, that type of thing, and then after a while they become like super fat, and people were asking if they could split the notebooks up over the year so that you can actually, you know, keep using it without it being super thick. So that's why there's the Avec copy. The only thing with the Hobonichi Cousin, the larger size, is there's no English version, which is a little bit sad because I've always loved the little quotes, that these things here, that would come on the page. But I'm just going to show you quickly what's inside a Hobonichi Cousin and why it's probably one of my favourite store-bought planners compared to, say, a bullet journal. This is something that I can buy and be pretty lazy about because the setup's pretty lovely already. So the first couple of pages features an absolutely useful calendar. Japanese calendars have the weekends on the end. So Saturday and Sunday might be at the end. I can't read that, that's fine. I tend to write everything above it. Anyway, so we've got then a monthly setup which goes, this looks a lot like a monthly log, doesn't it? So you've got the month at the top, some important events to put up there, like this looks like a future log, and then you've got all the dates down one side. So if you do the bullet journal, the original bullet journaling, you'll see a layout that's very much like this, and this goes all the way to 2021 in June. And this is probably because I opened the second half one, not the first one. Then you've got the normal monthly setup, so if you prefer that. So they've got the normal calendar view. So yes, so the Japanese one goes from Monday to Friday, and the Saturday and Sunday are at the end. In Australia, all our calendars actually go Sunday at the beginning and then Saturday at the end. So, but this is kind of works if you try to lump your weekends all at once. I tend to write my bullet journals with my weekends lumped at the end, but I think like the other layout with the weekend split apart. That's kind of weird. I didn't realise that until I just thought about it just now. So we've got the monthly set out here, which is absolutely useful if you like it, or you can ignore it if you don't like using those pages. And then this is the scheduling page. I think people who are students or perhaps have to keep a very strict schedule, this is actually a really useful thing. So every single day is broken up from 5 AM to 4 AM. So all 24 hours are covered, and then you basically can schedule everything in, and they've got all every single day of the year in this first half. So some people just use this completely. There is a Midori insert, which is basically just this, but they try and keep it all in one spot. So this is handy. So you put it, you know, there's pages and pages of it because it does take up your entire year. So there's that. And then we move to the daily pages, and the Hobonichi is extremely generous in the amount of pages that they have. So it's actually unbelievable to me that this is 6 months and they've got a scheduler for every single day of the year, as well as a daily page for every single day of the year. So beyond the fact that because the paper is so thin, that's why they can fit everything in well, in my case, 2 journals. And I think it's also why it's such a popular like diary, because you can keep everything all in one spot. They've also got a double up here, so you've got the other scheduler here. If this is kind of like what I would use if I'm just making quick appointments. At the front, this type of thing. This is what I'd use to schedule over the week, kind of like a weekly overview. This is my daily thing. When I get quick appointments, what I actually use for this at work is whenever I get phone calls, I record them here, who I've received the phone calls from and what they're asking for, mainly because my job as an architect, some of the stuff is contractual, so it is good to record this type of stuff there, and just to check what's happening. And then if there's anything important, then I move it to the scheduler at the front for meetings and everything like that. On each page there's a little diary that explains what it is, also shows which 2 days we're covering this page, and then the quotes that are in Japanese at the bottom. I do wish that they did a cousin version in English. Hobonichi Cousin, the Hobonichi paper, is, as I mentioned before, extremely thin, but also very forgiving. So the paper, it's like Bible paper, you know, you can kind of see already the ghosting behind it. If you are someone, let's have a look, I'll show you. Kind of see how it shows through. If you are someone that hates seeing what's on previous, I mean, you can see it here in the print already. This is not the notebook for you, but I do find it really lovely for painting it because the paper is so well coated. Everything kind of sits at the top. You have to adjust your technique as well because because it is so thin, it can be prone to crinkling, but I kind of paint that way in my LT anyway. And then also, it's because it is so well coated, it is beautiful if you're using fountain pens with it, because the sheen of the inks kind of just come to the top. So if your ink has glitter, golds, or different pigments in it, it shows up very nicely on the Tomoe River paper. And I think a lot of the popularity of the Hobonichi comes with people who love using fountain pens. So another thing is, I'm just going to quickly show you, at the top we've got the days, the month, the day of the month, the day, Friday, and then also the moon phases, which is really nice, so you can track that. And the rest of the journal is basically just those days, and every month is a slightly different colour. But the thing is, even if you don't like the colours of the month, I find that they're so subtle, they kind of disappear as you're drawing with it anyway. The Hobonichi A6, everything is black. You've got a monthly cover page as well. It's kind of like if you were really into doing a bullet journal, you could probably do it all in here, just the technique of it, because it has kind of everything that you need to set it up. So it's that, except for collection pages. Some people like to use separate pages for all of that. So there's that. And at the back we've got some addresses, a gift log, some more things. I never look at this. There's a graph paper page there. Favorite things. Maybe we can there's a little movie and stuff. I like that. It's my favorite movie. So those are the two little Avec pages. I'm gonna give this a shot next year actually. I'm trying to consolidate everything next year to see if I can make my life easier for myself. Because planning should help you be more organised, right? Not more stressed. So there's that one. I do really love the bullet journal system, so I'm trying to see if I can get something to help me along to be more efficient, but still use it within that system, the checking, the checklists, the indexes and stuff. So hopefully that's why I've moved to the Cousin, and hopefully that works for me. If not, I'll be back into my LT in no time. So I'm gonna open this. Maybe not. I'm always bumbling around in my unboxing videos. I'm sorry, I'm not. I should have planned my voiceovers more so you guys aren't stuck with this terrible bumbling. This is the notebook. How it's nice. And it's just graph paper. Emptiness and graph paper. I'm going to show you a close-up of the graph paper, but basically it's all in dash. It's very fine. There's a green section, blue section, and a red section apparently. This is probably going to be my support book. I'm going to show you what I'm planning to do. So, in my cover, I have this. I'm going to stick this in here on one half, and then January to June on the other half. So, like this. Both bookmarks, you can go one on either side, right? So, whatever day it is that you're going to put it onto this side. You can add more bookmarks if you want. I don't really use my bookmarks, to be honest. The thing with this type of cover is that you do need to use your pen to kind of hold it together, which might be why I like the zipper so much, but hold it together. But so the thing is, this is how I'm planning to use my setup for next year. So on one half I have my calendar, journals and everything like this, and then on the second half I've got the scrap paper so I can quickly take notes during meetings and things like that, or notes in class. But I'm at that age where I run classes, I don't attend classes anymore, but you know, that's okay. So I've got the secondary notebook here that I can do collections in, if that's the type of thing that interests me. And then when this one runs out, I can place it with the new notebook without much worry. And then having this as a secondary really helps as well. I might actually swap the second one to a sketchbook so I can carry that around with me everywhere. So that is an option. So something like even the anatomy sketchbook that has all the watercolor paper in it might be something that can replace this if I'm not feeling like using the graph paper on that side as well. But this is really handy when you're working and you just want to jot everything down and not ruin the main pages of your journal. Anyway, I hope that was handy for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll probably be showing the search and collect on my Instagram, not on my YouTube channel. But I hope you did enjoy that. That was useful. You know what? We have some time. Let's work out this week. Is it a card game? I think it might be. All the quotes are different on there. Anyway, for those of you who are curious about what that was, that seems to be what that was. Last year they came with a little bear, a little metal bear. This year, I don't know what this is. I'm sure it'll be on Google. Anyway, I'm sorry I could not highlight any more for you. There's cute pigs on it though. But I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you guys are doing very well. I've still got a little bit of a hand injury, so I haven't been able to draw as much as I wanted to. I have been keeping my Instagram up to date though, so if you want to see my September spreads, are all there. I have filmed everything. I'm hoping to get a voiceover up for you guys. I might post all of September's all at once for you. So I hope you're all doing well. I miss you all, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys next time.